Thank you for calling. Wait. God damn it. What is up, beautiful people? It's your favorite drunken nerd here, Blazing Dog, coming at you with another video. And this video is actually going to be a cosplay log video, part 1. So basically, you get to follow me and my journey of how I create this costume, which is my Teen Titans Raven Witch version costume for Halloween. Anyways, yes, this is going to be a journey of how I basically do the breakdown of putting together this look. Again, I'm not really a professional, so I wouldn't recommend some of the things that I do, or maybe you can just be influenced and be inspired and take some of these steps and make it better, whatever. If you got tips and tricks, just go ahead and let me know. But majority of this is kind of store-bought and half of this is actually made. So yeah, before we get down to this video, don't forget to leave a like because I know you're gonna like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you guys are always following in my shenanigans. And of course, don't forget to follow my other social media accounts. That way you can actually see, maybe some behind the scenes of this stuff, or at least the final result of it all. So yeah, let's go ahead and get down to this video. All right, so the first thing I did was go on to Kim Patsu's cosplay website and downloaded and printed off the patterns for her witch hat, which, let me tell you something, this was golden. So in this step, basically, after printing all 16 pieces, I think, I managed to go ahead and put these pieces together. It did take a while just because, well, I'm kind of stupid. So I couldn't really figure out how this puzzle worked. So you get this little cute short version of this, and this literally took me like 30 to 45 minutes to tape and piece everything together. Now it's time to go ahead and cut out the pieces. As I cut out the pieces, the tape that was supporting some of it to keep it together was actually not good enough, so I went ahead and went back and basically retaped some of the pieces so that way I didn't actually lose any part of it with the scraps, basically. You can see that my nephew came in and started stepping all over my paper and everything. He usually likes to come into my room around 8, 9 p.m. because he knows that I turn on the LED lights, and he just usually makes himself at home at that point. Going in with Yaya Han's EVA foam, and this is in 5 milliliters, I went ahead and pinned the pieces to the foam itself and actually started cutting it out. I realized that it probably would have been easier with 2 things. One, if I actually had my cutting board to work with or a hard surface. And then 2, I probably should have just drew on the patterns itself so I didn't have to worry about, them getting in the way with the pins and everything like that. So yeah, going back and looking at this, I realized how stupid I am sometimes. So this pattern genuinely actually takes about 2 of these EVA foam sheets, and let's just say I was lucky, since I was on a budget, that I got both of these for the price of 1. I didn't steal it. By the time I got home, I realized, like, oh my god, why was that so cheap? Why was that trip so cheap, even with my coupon and my military discount? And I was like, oh, they didn't charge me for the second one. What the heck? Oh well, it's a blessing. I went ahead and laid out the pattern so I knew exactly where I needed to glue the pieces together, and I also took my heat gun and started warping it so that way it would make it easier to bend and shape it as I go. So in this next step, let me tell y'all something. Y'all are so lucky because in total it was probably 3 hours worth of me recording myself actually gluing the pieces together and basically ripping the hat apart, because that first shot that you saw was not originally how I had it lined up. I was actually gluing the pieces like all wrong, and Kim Patsu went ahead and made this whole thing super easy and like dummy proof, but I still managed to fuck it up.
What are you?
An idiot sandwich.
Idiot sandwich what?
An idiot sandwich, Chef Ramsay.
Now, I keep using the heat gun to keep reshaping the hat as I'm gluing it, as well as speeding up the process of the cement glue, because it does help it become more tacky much more quicker. Otherwise, you'll be sitting there for like hours on end just waiting for that shit to dry. So use the heat gun to speed up the process. Finally, after 3 nights of blood, sweat, tears, and alcohol, I managed to get this final look. Ignore the flaws because I'm covering that with fabric. Since I had to go out of town to get the fabric that I needed to cover the hat, as well as some other accessories to her costume, I went ahead and moved on to making the gem for the belt. I started off with these air dry clay that I was able to get at Joann's, I believe for like $5, just because I used one of the coupons. So you can see me actually creating the shape, and I do try to smooth it out as much as I can with some water, but of course I will be smoothing it down even more once it dries and I can actually sand it down. Hours later, after it's been completely dry, I went ahead and sanded it down so at least it can create this smooth texture that I need in order to create the molding for it. Next, I can move on to creating my rubber molding. And basically, I started off with taking some cardboard pieces of the Amazon boxes that I had left over from, lots of packages. I created this square, like, I guess a man-made mold box, whatever. I don't know how to explain it. The thing to pour the damn molding in, hell, to create this shape. Damn it. To ensure that none of the molding liquid actually comes out, I did take the same air dry clay and I smoothed out the crevices, or covered the crevices basically, again just to make sure that none of the liquid comes out, otherwise it's gonna be a hot mess. And yeah, so once I was done there, I went ahead and mixed up the mixture for the molding. It looks like a relaxer to me, which was very therapeutic, and it kind of just brought some old school memories to me when I used to relax my own hair. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and just slowly pour it in and make sure you're coating everything evenly. Of course, make sure you actually have the piece that you're creating the mold for in there. I forgot to mention that. I glued that bitch to the bottom so that way it does not move while I'm pouring in the molding and while the molding is setting in. So yeah, sorry I skipped that step of filming it. It was boring anyways. Who wants to see that shit? Perfect. Instruction says to go ahead and let it cure for 2 to 4 hours. I'm gonna do it for all night. Next, I went ahead and started to create the pattern for the hat. So once I do get the fabric, I'll be able to go ahead and move on to the next step more quicker. So basically I took this cling wrap and I wrapped it around the entire hat. This is actually a process or procedure that I usually do when I create custom patterns for myself, because I just find it easier. Then I went ahead and went in with painter's tape, and for the most part, the tail part, I did cover the majority of the hat, like 360, but once I started getting to the bigger pieces, I only did like half of it, just because the pattern that I'm gonna cut out is just gonna be for 2 pieces, because you know how it is. I don't need to cut out like everything, because I'm just gonna flip it and just duplicate it. I made sure to put the registration marks this time. Next, I went ahead and just started cutting off the man-made pattern. Again, I only need half of it, but it was just easier to go ahead and go down the middle and follow in the markings that I had put on the pattern. And again, just 2 pieces, that's all I needed. Checking back on the molding, it cured overnight, as you can see, judging by the daylight. I went ahead and started taking apart my man-made box. And ooh, look at it, so shiny. Pop that piece out. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Yeah. I can actually take the trimmings, the little edges that you see there, I can rip it apart easily. But to clean it up even more like neatly, I went ahead and took the scissors instead. Next, I'm going in with that Easy Cast resin, and I'm doing 1 part of each solution, bottle, whatever, and pouring it into the plastic cup. I actually ended up measuring out 2 parts for each solution, and I realized at the end it was too much and I had some extra resin left over. So for the shape that I just made, I technically only needed like 1 shot of each. Did I really say 1 shot? Wow, who has alcohol on their mind? Just kidding. You know, just being an old ex-bartender, you trying to measure everything in shot-wise. No lie, that's exactly how I do it. Someone tells me 1 ounce, I'm like, okay, 1 shot, got it. I used about 6 to 8 drops of the resin color dye, and basically with all the gems that I created, I added more to get that more opaque color. So this first one came out actually a little light, but I was still able to manage it. So going forward, I did actually add in more damn it, more drips. And then I took the heat gun and basically did that to clear out the bubbles, make sure there was no bubbles in the resin. And here's what it looks like after letting it cure for 24 hours. Like I said, the color came out like really light, but I was still gonna be able to use it just with some tricks that I was gonna fix it to match up with the other gems that I created. So I went ahead and actually made the next gem, ensuring that I did add more drops. And if you're wondering why the solutions are different colors, it's because I actually had some other resin left over from a previous project, and I decided to go ahead and use that all up first before I move on to use the new one that I had bought, because resin is expensive. Nobody got time to be buying that on a budget. So as you can see, again, adding in more drops, the color was more opaque, so I knew this one in particular and the next few ones were actually going to come out way better. And that's pretty much it. Again, I'm just going to wait like another 24 hours for it to cure, and just continue this process over for the next couple days, because I have to do this for each gem, because again, I'm on a budget, and if I really wanted to, I could have just created like an ass load of mold and do all of this all at once, but I'm not spending that much for Halloween. Budget for this video is supposed to be $100 or under, and that's that. Damn, you know, I'm kind of looking cute. It's Friday night when I'm recording this, and yeah, this bitch is about to get some free drinks. Okay. Alrighty guys, that is part 1 of the video. I hope I managed to squeeze in a lot, because I'm still in the process of editing it, and I know I got half of this mess done, and I'm still waiting for more things to come in the mail through Amazon. So in part 2 should be the finishing touches and getting everything done. And if anything, I'll probably cram in the get ready with me, possibly, or maybe I'll make that as a separate video. So I'm not sure what's gonna go down, but anyways, thank you guys so much for following in this part 1 journey. I hope to see you guys in my next video. Take care and bye-bye.